Ask the Mayor, only on News Channel 21.
Thanks so much for joining us for our first ever Ask the Mayor Redmond edition. We're joined now by Redmond Mayor Ed Fitch.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. Thanks so much for joining us. We're just going to jump right into it with our first question for you. Our first viewer would like to know, after reviewing the new wildfire risk map, how is the city going to start addressing egress and fire protections for the city?
We've been looking at that for some time, even before the Los Angeles situation.
Yeah.
We do have an emergency management plan. We work with our Redmond Fire and District. We work with the Deschutes County Emergency Management.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that there are plans in place, but it always helps to have annually or maybe every 2 years a refresh of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this spring we'll do that at a city council meeting so the public knows what the situation is and be prepared for any incident that does occur.
Definitely. Well, thank you. And up next, a viewer says, a small business owner in Redmond that is not part of downtown, do you have any plans to help build our business up as the city does for the downtown businesses?
Well, the downtown is kind of unique in that a long time ago, probably 30 years ago, we formed that Downtown Urban Renewal District.
Mm-hmm.
Those monies are used to do like building improvements in the front, improve downtown's appearance. That improves the tax base, which again helps the Downtown Urban Renewal District. So downtown has kind of a unique characteristic to it in that those are unique dollars dedicated for that purpose. Outside of the Downtown Urban Renewal, we have a South Urban Renewal on Highway 97. Mm-hmm. That purpose is actually to improve the infrastructure, improve South Highway 97, improve traffic flow out there. So there aren't any real, I'll call it specific plans, but I think improving the infrastructure, improving the streetscape helps businesses, improving traffic flow, and so people are safe getting in and out. So those are the kind of things that the city can do with the monies that we have from general fund and transportation dollars. But downtown is a bit unique.
I see. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that. And our second to last viewer question, we're flying through these. When is Redmond South slated to begin? A lot of citizens are looking forward to a safer Highway 97 when getting out of businesses on 97.
That could be an hour-long discussion. It really is a point of frustration for us. I worked on the South Highway 97 committee from like 2010 to 2018. Oh, wow. We came up with a fairly detailed plan to improve South Highway 97. ODOT indicated at that point in time that they were going to dedicate funds for that purpose. Mm-hmm. Since then, ODOT has basically run out of money. The money they do have is being dedicated toward the I-5 bridge and the Rose Quarter in Portland. Mm-hmm. So most of the rest of the state is getting very little funding for transportation improvements. South Highway 97, for example, is the worst section of Highway 97 from the California border all the way up to Washington. Mm-hmm. It's basically falling apart and has to be rebuilt from the base up. Now, twice ODOT has applied to the federal government for about $40 million to affect that, and twice they've been denied. Wow. We keep pressing ODOT to, again, seek those additional funds from the federal government to improve Highway 97. It needs sidewalks. It needs safe, turn lanes, both in and out of businesses. Mm-hmm. It needs pedestrian crossings. It needs bike lanes. It needs everything. So it is a very significant point of frustration with the city and with the businesses down there. We think that it could be a great corridor. Now, the other thing that we're trying to do is take a lot of pressure off South Highway 97 by building the East Side Arterial. Mm-hmm. And that will go all the way from U Avenue up to Maple Avenue on the east side. We expect construction to start on that through the old Juniper Golf Course this year. It'll take about 2 or 3 years. Part of it's working with ODOT on a roundabout at Highway 126 in Northeast 9th, another roundabout at Veterans Way just north of the college. But that will take a lot of pressure off South Highway 97 and could be lead to some improvement in terms of traffic flow and safety. Yeah. But it really needs a redo, and it's a big, it's a big number, and we need help on that from both the state and the federal government.
Yeah, hopefully they can secure that funding soon.
We hope so.
Yeah.
Well, this is our last viewer question, and it's one we hear from all over Central Oregon. Why isn't the leash law enforced in the Dry Canyon Park?
Well, we do have a dog park where people can have their dogs unleashed, but there's no question there's people that have dogs off leash in the canyon from time to time. One of the issues is the dry canyon is a little bit isolated in terms of you don't have cars going up and down it. The police department gets 30,000 calls a year, and leash law enforcement is not the highest priority. I know it's important, but it's not the highest priority in terms of what the police do. I mean, it really comes down to owners and having respect for their fellow citizens in terms of keeping their dogs on leash and under control.
Yeah.
There have been a couple of really sad incidents of dogs attacking another dog. But by and large, I think most people do comply with that. I walk in the canyon every week, and I do see most people are complying with that leash law.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, before we wrap up here, why don't we, that was our last question, so thank you for that. But let's just give a little background to our viewers here. How long have you been mayor in Redmond for?
Well, I was mayor about 25 years ago, and at that time we were able to procure the funding for the initial reroute for Highway 97, getting it out of downtown. We got the Maple Avenue Bridge going, the Highland Avenue and Glacier Couplet. So we were able to get a lot of things done back then. Then I focused on family, and about a few years ago I started to get back into city government. And so I've been mayor now since for about 2 years.
Okay.
This time
Good
around.
stuff. Well, thank you so much. We're
Yeah,
grateful to have you.
We really appreciate you coming on here, and we look forward to future Ask the Mayor Redmonds with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tune in
And
next month.
for our Redmond viewers, do you have a question for Mayor Ed Fitch? To submit your question, click Ask the Mayor under the News tab on ktvz.com. We'll welcome the mayor back on the third Thursday of next month.
And thanks you so much for joining us for our first ever Redmond Ask the Mayor. And thank you again, Mayor Fitch, for joining us.
Thank you.
We will be right back after the break.